When my wife, Sarah, told me she was going out for dinner with her friends, I didn't think much of it at first. She had always been social, often planning nights out with her colleagues or childhood friends. But this time, something in her tone felt rehearsed. She made sure to emphasize the friends part, almost as if she was planting the detail in advance so I wouldn't question it. I tried to brush it off, telling myself not to overthink. But as the evening approached, her behavior grew stranger. She spent hours getting ready, trying on different dresses, applying makeup with an attention to detail I hadn't seen in years. I couldn't remember the last time she looked at me with the same excitement she now seemed to hold for this so-called dinner. When she finally left, I sat on the couch staring at the clock, my gut twisting with unease. Something didn't add up. She hadn't mentioned which friends she was meeting. Usually, she'd talk about who would be there, maybe even show me a group chat. But tonight it was vague, evasive. I decided not to confront her right away. Instead, I logged into our shared email account, a habit we both had for managing bills and reservations. My heart nearly stopped when I saw the confirmation sitting right there in the inbox. Hotel Grandview. 1 room. Reserved under her name. The reservation was for that very night. Dinner with friends? No. She wasn't planning a meal out with old colleagues. She was planning an escape into someone else's arms. I sat back in my chair, my hands trembling, staring at the screen. A storm of emotions surged: anger, betrayal, heartbreak. But above it all was clarity. This wasn't paranoia, wasn't imagination. The proof was undeniable. I could have called her right then, exposed what I knew. But instead I decided to wait. I needed to see just how far she was willing to go with her lies. I wanted her to tell me to my face that she was out with her friends, while I held the truth in my pocket. When Sarah returned home later that night, her lipstick smudged, her perfume stronger than usual, she smiled faintly and said, "Dinner was great, but I'm exhausted." And in that moment, I realized just how deep her betrayal ran. That night, after Sarah went to bed, I sat in the living room replaying her words. "Dinner was great, but I'm exhausted." She didn't even look me in the eyes when she said it. Instead, she rushed straight to the bedroom, almost as if she was afraid I'd notice something on her face, something she couldn't hide. I pulled out my phone and checked the hotel reservation again. It wasn't a mistake. The time matched perfectly with the hours she claimed she was out with friends. The truth was laid bare in front of me, but I wanted her to give me one more lie, just so I could watch her mask crack. The next morning over breakfast, I asked casually, "So how was dinner? Who all came?" Sarah nearly choked on her coffee. She stammered before saying, "Oh, just the usual group. You don't know them." Her eyes darted toward the floor, avoiding mine. That was all the confirmation I needed. She wasn't just lying, she was scrambling. For the next few days, I acted normal. I kissed her goodbye in the mornings, asked about her day in the evenings, all while keeping my knowledge of the hotel reservation locked away. Inside, though, I was boiling. Every smile she gave me felt like poison, every affectionate touch like a performance. On Friday evening, she announced again that she was going out for dinner with friends. This time, my heart raced, because I already knew what was coming. After she left, I checked the email again. Another hotel reservation, same place, different night. I couldn't sit still. I drove to the hotel, parked across the street, and waited. An hour later, my chest tightened as I saw Sarah walk in. She wasn't alone. A man was with her, his hand at the small of her back as they disappeared through the glass doors. My stomach dropped. Seeing it in person was worse than any email confirmation. I sat there in the car, frozen, my fists clenched on the steering wheel. This wasn't just a suspicion anymore. It was reality, unfolding right before my eyes. My wife, the woman I had trusted with my life, was walking into a hotel with another man. I wanted to storm in, scream, cause a scene. But I didn't. Instead, I waited. If she thought she could hide behind her lies, I was going to show her that I knew everything. And I would choose the moment that cut deepest. When Sarah finally returned home past midnight, she quietly slipped into the bedroom, thinking I was asleep. I kept my breathing steady, pretending to be lost in dreams, while her perfume, too heavy, too unfamiliar, lingered in the air. I clenched my jaw, knowing exactly where she had been. The next morning, I decided it was time. Over coffee, I said, Sarah, maybe next week we should go out together. You've been spending so much time with your friends at these dinners. I'd like to join sometime. Her spoon froze midair. She forced a smile. Oh, you wouldn't like it. It's just boring girl talk. I leaned back, studying her. Boring girl talk at the Grandview Hotel? The color drained from her face. For a moment, silence swallowed the room. Then she tried to recover. What are you talking about? That's ridiculous. Her voice cracked, betraying her composure. I slid my phone across the table, the hotel confirmation email glowing on the screen. Stop lying, Sarah. I know everything. She stared at the screen, her hands trembling. Finally, she whispered. It's not what you think. But I'd had enough. No. It's exactly what I think. You've been sneaking off, making excuses, and hoping I'd stay blind. You lied to my face, night after night. Tears welled in her eyes, but they didn't move me. Those weren't tears of guilt. They were tears of being caught. It just happened. I didn't mean for it to go this far. I laughed bitterly. Hotel reservations don't just happen, Sarah. You chose this. You risked everything we built for him. She reached across the table, but I pulled my hand away. For years, I had been her rock, her safe place. But that trust had been shattered, piece by piece, until all that remained was betrayal. So what now? She asked, her voice small, almost childlike. I stood up, grabbing my keys. Now you live with the consequences. You lied, you cheated, and you thought I wouldn't find out. I won't fight, Sarah. I won't scream. But I also won't stay. Her mouth opened to protest, but no words came. She sat there frozen, realizing she had lost me, not because of one mistake, but because of the web of lies she spun to protect it. As I walked out the door, the weight on my chest lifted. I wasn't the broken one anymore. She was. She had gambled with our marriage and she lost. And the cruelest part? I didn't even have to raise my voice. The truth had done all the damage for me.